grew up with a very abusive father. He moved us to the country. He isolated us from everything. He was just violent. My mom would cook and he would throw our food on the ground because that was just him. He would knock the Christmas tree over and the ornaments would be on the ground, and I don't even remember what I got for Christmas. Honestly, I do not remember what I got for Christmas as a kid. If someone would ask me what I got for Christmas, I can't even remember because I don't remember a good Christmas. That's pretty pathetic. I remember one day he was fighting with my mother and I was so fed up that I got involved. I got in the middle of it because I was just mad. I wanted to protect her, and I got to a point that I didn't care anymore. He could hurt me physically. It just, those wounds would heal. So I got in the middle of it, and I started yelling at him, and I was trying to deflect the anger to me. We were in the hallway, and he threw me down on the ground, and he ended up dislocating my shoulder. My mom tried to protect me, and she kicked him in the face. We ended up running out of the apartment, but before we ran out of the apartment, he grabbed the broom, and he broke it over my back. And I later found out that he wanted to break it over my head, and his words were that I was lucky that he didn't, because he was aiming for my head. There was one day he was so high on cocaine that he thought I was working for the DEA at 12 years old. So he held a loaded gun to my head, and he was screaming at me. That was horrifying for a 12-year-old. And that's basically how it was growing up with my father. I ran away a lot when I was 14 to get away from my dad and just to find acceptance. My friends that I hung around with, they were into drugs and guns, and they were gang members. One night, we decided we were all going to go to a hotel, and someone scored a bunch of acid. So one of our friends was working there. They had a job there, a night job there. So we were gonna get a bunch of rooms. We were gonna do a bunch of acid. And I don't know how many hits I did. I must have been 14. So at 17, I had Alicia. I believe that God picked her and gave her to me, because had I not been given her, I think I would have continued with the drugs. I still continue to drink. I didn't completely clean up my act, but I knew, something inside me knew that I needed to do something, because I had a child and I needed to take responsibility. A few years later, I met Jack and we got married, and we moved to Charlotte. And I got this magazine, and there was this article in the magazine about Kinetic, and so I was like, we should check the church out, but we didn't. So, a few months went by, and I found out about Kinetic again, because there was, the billboards everywhere, and the church trailers got stolen, and it's like, I had looked up the YouTube video, and I was like, wow, they seem really awesome. So it just really touched me, that the church was reaching out to this thief. And so I was like, we'll check them out, but we didn't. So a couple of months went by again, and Alicia was like, Mom, can we go to Kinetic? You know, she had been following me through this whole ordeal. And she's just like, can we go tomorrow? It was like a Saturday, and she's like, let's go. And I was like, yeah, we should go. You're right. Let's go. So we went to Kinetic, and a month and a half later, I was baptized, and my spiritual journey began. So in January of the next year, Dave did a series on giving. He was talking about, would you rather have 100% of your money cursed, or, you know, give your 10%, the 10% that God calls you to give him, and that 90% blessed. Test him, test the Lord's word, you know, test his word in this. And we were like, me and Jack walked out of there, and we were like, you know, the Lord says we should do this, so we need to be doing this. We're not doing this. Honestly, we weren't. So we started doing it. And I did, okay, he did pass the test. And okay, in February of, you know, like a month later, Jack got a very big bonus check from his work, and something that we weren't expecting, something that, you know, it was awesome. We tithe because we're supposed to. We're not tithing because it's the return on our investment. You see what I mean? I'm not banking on, here I give you my tithe, now give me something back, because I don't expect that from God. I do that because I am faithful. You know what I mean? Like, that's because I'm called to do that. Like, I don't expect anything from him. Like, that's his. I had this realization a month ago that he protected my heart. Like he has protected my heart. When I was younger, he protected my heart. Like, he was faithful even before I knew that. Like, he protected me. I'm not like a drug addict. I'm not a prostitute. I'm not in jail. I'm not homeless. I'm not growing up with 2 drug addicts, being beaten, being abused. Even though I went through all of that, like, he's rewarding me now. Like, it's like, he didn't do that to me. He doesn't cause those things, but it's like, he's rewarding me with this. Like, I have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful family. Like, and it's amazing how faithful he is. Like, the materialistic things don't matter to me. He is faithful. I'm Salina Ciotti, and this is my Kinetic.